I never thought I would say this, but is this an NFT of Burntrap going Super Saiyan? Wow, someone paid $166 for this? Why? It looks like there's another hand coming out of his thigh. Are you kidding me? That's literally from FNAF Special Delivery. Like, you can see part of the FNAF AR logo cut off in the top left corner. Are these people even trying? Oh, they minted 1 billion of these. Great. Thank gosh, everyone. What would humanity do without 1 billion copies of this glorious FNAF NFT? About a year ago, it was announced that Scott would be partnering with Wax NFT blockchain to issue a series of FNAF-related NFTs, no doubt similar to what we saw Mob Games do with Poppy Playtime NFTs on Sweet.io. However, upon facing immediate backlash from the community who cited environmental, political, and economic concerns regarding NFTs, Scott pulled the plug on the whole thing, saying, "I try to do right, but sometimes things go wrong, I guess. I'm putting a stop to the NFTs. It's not worth it to me." And with that, the official FNAF NFTs were dead, thankfully, because NFTs suck. Unfortunately, in the wake of this announcement, grifters started to take advantage of the situation and mint their own unauthorized FNAF-related NFTs. Even worse, some of these fake FNAF NFTs are being sold on marketplaces like OpenSea at absolutely absurd prices. At the height of the NFT craze, Freddy Cyber Bears were born, and they are coming after you. They're coming after us all, and they won't stop until we're all. What is Freddy FNAF NFT? Freddy FNAF are 1,000 randomly infected cyber bear conducting business on the Ethereum and Polygon blockchain. The entirety of this site is protected by copyright 2022 Freddy FNAF NFT Inc. So everything on this site is your copyright? Everything? Including this fully playable, totally unauthorized web port of FNAF 1 that's definitely not your copyright? Yeah, okay. The sad part is that most of the artwork referenced in these particular NFTs looks so bad. Don't get me wrong, most NFT art is bad. In case you aren't familiar with how this works, the issuers create a bunch of pre-made traits for characters, almost like a paper doll. You can have Nightmare Freddy FNAF, smoking a cigar, maybe he has a big beard, maybe he's holding a Tommy gun, that kind of stuff. There are different accessories, colors, and backgrounds, and all of them are randomly mixed together as a software program assembles the NFTs. You can see here that each trait has a different rarity. So for example, when a Freddy FNAF NFT is minted, there's an 11.1 chance that it has green skin, or fabric, or whatever it is. On the contrary, there's only a 1% chance that it's golden, and collectors seem to value these rarer traits. Less of the NFTs have them, making them more exclusive and theoretically more expensive. The problem is, by creating the artwork this way, you're extremely limited in how detailed you can make things. Every new trait needs to be backwards compatible with all the existing traits, and the computer-generated nature of these images means that many of the elements don't fit at all. Freddy FNAF's hand is always in the same position, and that severely constrains the types of objects he can hold. Here he's got a baseball bat that should be falling out of his hands. Here he's supposed to be holding a sack or something, but it's more like he's just pressing it against his waist in order to keep it from falling down. The same goes for the backpack, it just looks awful. So they have the FNAF 1 web port on their website, which they claim is their copyright. Meanwhile, they didn't even make this web port, it's also stolen. They've got NFTs minted on the blockchain, so what else? Oh, a roadmap. All NFT projects have to have a roadmap. This is their sales pitch. It's how they try to convince you that these crappy illustrations of Freddy FNAF are an investment. These aren't just going to gain value for no reason, of course not. There's going to be tremendous utility to these Freddy FNAF NFTs. When shit goes down, you're going to want to own this. Imagine there's like a zombie apocalypse. Now imagine there's a zombie apocalypse, but you own a database entry corresponding to this image of Freddy FNAF holding a backpack. Yeah, see how that would change everything? Utility. Stage 1 is community building. Our main objective pre-mint is to build our community organically using our high-quality art and our love for anime as a focal point. We will be hosting NFT trivia and art contests for prizes, as well as weekly giveaways and anime watch parties leading up to our mint. Okay, hold on here. Anime? What's this about anime? Also, what is NFT trivia? Is that trivia about NFTs, like who is the boredest ape? Or is that trivia using NFTs, in which case, why? Also, I'm incredibly skeptical that any of these events ever actually occurred. I'm skeptical that this community even exists. I don't know anything about NFTs. Can I still participate? Absolutely, we will take your money, you fucking idiot. To learn a bit more about how to get started in NFTs, join our Twitter and head over to the education channel. The education channel on your Twitter? Twitter doesn't have channels. So is anyone buying this crap? The answer is thankfully not really, but there are 3 verified transactions, and I had to know who buys the Freddy FNAF NFT and for how much. Well, 5 months ago, one user purchased Freddy number 19 for $166 in Ethereum. I'm not kidding, over $150 for this shitty piece of art. I needed to know, what other NFTs does this person collect that they bought Freddy FNAF number 19? Okay, they're all scantily clad Oh, she's just, wow, I can't show that on on YouTube. Okay, interesting. Why would anyone spend $166 on this abysmal drawing? I mean, it's your money, do what you want, but I just can't comprehend why this one was so appealing to this person, who mostly just collects NFTs of titties. I'm sorry, I can't get over how ridiculous it looks. The purple body on that red background, the cowboy hat with the sunglasses mixed with the... what kind of robe is that? A wizard robe? Okay. The next two sales were for substantially less. Freddy number 4 sold for $33.25. That's still an absurd amount to pay for this abysmal drawing, but hey, at least it's not $166. Let's see what kind of NFTs this buyer collects. Okay, plausible. There's some ape stuff, which I think is really common and popular amongst NFT collectors. There's an executive husky, a lucky lion club, and a bunny buddies NFT. Okay, it's a furry that's collecting furry NFTs. It's more reasonable to me that this person might have been interested in the Freddy FNAF NFT. Maybe they'd heard about the ill-fated official FNAF NFTs and thought that these were legit or something, who knows. The third and final sale happened only a month ago, and it was for $8.31. This was for Freddy number 248, another purple Freddy, but this one wearing a ski mask and holding a bloody backpack. I still can't fathom why anyone would pay over $8 for a database entry pointing to this drawing, but apparently someone did. So what is this exactly? Who makes this stuff and why? Well, looking at the site, we see numerous references to anime and otaku. They discuss anime watch parties, and anime just keeps coming up. My guess is that whoever created this series of FNAF NFTs is doing the same thing for hundreds of popular franchises, and I imagine that most of them are anime related. They probably have a singular cookie-cutter template website that they use for all these projects with the roadmap and stuff, and in this case, some of the anime-related copy got left on the Freddy FNAF scam. NFTs are the Wild West. Anyone can issue them, and once they're out there, you can't really take them back very easily. Sure, these NFTs are obviously unauthorized and illegal, but even if Scott issued a cease and desist against Freddy FNAF, and even if he sued them and won, they can't compel the innocent people who might have bought these NFTs to destroy them. Once it's on the blockchain, it's on there, forever basically. These grifters don't really care if they get shut down, because it's essentially impossible to claw the money back once the NFTs have been sold. It's crypto, remember? It's really easy to move the money around and hide it. Plus, nobody even knows who these people are anyway. Sure, OpenSea could delist the collection, and honestly I'm hoping that this video maybe spurs them onto, but the people behind this still run away with the cash that they've made. Did Freddy FNAF become the next Bored Ape bullshit and make billions of dollars off their crappy computer-generated drawings? No, of course not. However, they did make some money. Even if you only sell 3 of these things, that's still like $200 that they took home, and considering the crazy volatility of crypto, it could end up being worth a lot more in the long run. Now scale it up. If they made almost $200 from these crappy-ass, obvious knockoff Freddy FNAF NFTs, think about how much they could make if they have hundreds and thousands of similar projects, all capitalizing on an existing intellectual property and stealing their art and designs for a quick buck. That can add up fast, especially when it's so effortless to set up cookie-cutter templated sites that all have the same bullshit roadmap and the same FAQ and everything. Unfortunately, we're surely going to see this a lot more in the coming days. Bootleg FNAF merch is already pretty prevalent. We've all seen examples of it. In the crazy Wild West world of NFTs, it's basically inevitable. Searching FNAF on OpenSea produces a lot of results, all of which are illegally capitalizing on the FNAF IP. Freddy FNAF at least generated a bunch of shitty drawings, but some of the FNAF NFTs out there use official renders, or even worse, fan renders. And there's just nothing anyone can do to stop this. You can't stop people from issuing NFTs. There's no way to tell that the image connected to them isn't actually owned by the issuer. By the time a rights holder gets a collection taken down, 5 more have popped up, and once people start buying the NFTs, they're out there, probably forever. Even worse is the very real environmental costs that these NFTs incur. It's of course the fault of the people taking advantage of the system like this, not our community, but it does still suck. It sucks to think that this franchise that we love, that has helped do a lot of really good things for important causes like the Trevor Project and St. Jude, is contributing to all the bad shit that NFTs do. It's not like it's a huge deal or anything. These NFTs aren't that big of a problem, nor are they that widespread, but I'd be lying if I said that they don't piss me off. I think it's fair to be pissed off by that, especially in light of Scott's righteous move to pull the plug on the official FNAF NFTs a year ago. Sadly, franchises like FNAF are going to continue to be taken advantage of by unscrupulous people. I personally don't support cryptocurrency or NFTs in general, and honestly, I get the sense that the majority of the FNAF community is also opposed to them. However, if you are into NFTs, please don't buy or mint these stupid things, even if you just want to represent FNAF in your NFT wallet or something. It just encourages these grifters to continue doing it more. These projects cost absolutely nothing to start, and they make hundreds of them. Even if they only get a handful of sales, that's money that adds up, and it just encourages them to do this stuff more. It just shows them that the demand is there, and to keep issuing these fake Freddy FNAF NFTs well into the future, even if they're taken down at some point. Thanks for watching.